Dedicated to the children of the world. Yeah, yeah. And all my people in the streets. Yeah, yeah. Get off the ground. Get on your feet, yeah. And don't stop, cause we not giving up. Jump up, jump up, jump up. We not giving up.
Lovely day, lovely environment, lovely gentleman. Marshall Jesus Montano is here with me today.
It's an honor
Thank you for coming.
to be in such beauty, to be in the presence of such beauty.
Good day. I'm trying to talk formal, right? Because he come like my brother, so I have to try to make it professional. Now that we have an audience.
I'm ready.
Okay.
Always ready to have professional conversation.
Great. Marshall, the thing that I want to get from this interview is an understanding of who you are. I know it seems contradictory. I want to say outside the rolling of the camera or the public eye. So for instance, I know you come out of this tradition which begins with Kaiso, Calypso, etc. Do you see yourself as part of that, or is it something different?
Well, I mean, coming out, as you say, coming out of Kaiso, I mean, I see myself as one of the entertainers who sort of turned the century in terms of the entertainment industry in Trinidad and Tobago. I don't want to say a product of the old, but I was kind of a product of the coming into a new generation that passed through yet another and seen another begin. Because I was back in the day when we had the legends of Calypso and the legends of, soca music, people like Mighty Sparrow, who was one of the greatest Calypsonians, Kitchener, and then somebody like Shorty I, who also existed in their area but was known for being the soca king, the guy who invented soca music. And to pass through some of the careers of people like David Michael Rudder, Christopher Tambo, Herbert the Scruntas, and still be performing today alongside some of the young generation. I feel like I'm kind of a product or a reflection of a century's worth of change and music coming out of this Caribbean island, Trinidad and Tobago.
How does it work in your psyche? Like, is it that you hear the sounds of that tradition and then you build on it? Because you growing up in a time too where you have just as much or even more access to hip hop and dancehall, and so where does it come from when you making music?
Well, I think beyond where it comes from is where you were put into it, because I see this thing as always constant change going on, and music is one of the easiest ways to watch the change of a society, of the change of a nation. And I came in as a Calypsonian, a young guy wanting to be part of my culture, singing Calypso. Started singing Calypso at a point when we had a lot of hip teenagers going on television, doing lip syncing and watching what was happening outside of the country. So we started to adapt to foreign culture. And I tried to survive as a cultural entity along with trying to work my way through my peers and the music that was happening with my peers and around me. So my music sort of evolved into being a stalwart of the cultural aspect of your country, and as well as being part of the experiment of the development of what your country is developing into. So I have kind of been the person who would experiment but still bring the experimentation to the foundation.
Is it always going to be located here and listened to there, or could it belong to there?
I see the music I see myself trying to make recently, and I mean in the last couple of years, and it's coming from different angles. I try to do it lyrically, I try to do it melodically, I try to do it with the beat, with soca. What it is, I want a song is a song is a song. I want to write great songs which start with lyrics, start with feeling, and start with singing from the heart. So first of all, I have to stop now in my life and not be, okay, what is the biggest hit for Carnival next year? What will make them jump the most? What will make them wave the most? As opposed to, I have to focus now on what is the experience that truly touched me that I want to share in terms of a song with people. So when I think of that kind of music, I want to make this beat that, as you say, could be played anywhere. It could be identified as the music of, I don't care if somebody say that guy.
Right.
The music of that boy.
Yes.
Some people call me Michael, Markel, Marshall, Macawell, everything possible, I wanted to transcend beyond my
Call
name.
me music.
Say, call me that song. Call me that song right there. See that song right there? That is what I like. And then now, okay, we come to Trinidad. We must have a version that might make Trinidad jump. But we must have these versions that could play everywhere on every radio. I think this is what pop music has sort of become. Pop music is not really pop as in, Britney Spears or this or color, race or anything. It's popular. What could be played everywhere? What could be loved by the most amount of people? And I think to get out of Carnival, to think beyond Carnival is very difficult for us artists who are so embedded in what Carnival is. Some people will come up to me sometimes and say, oh God, Marshall, if you're here, it's no Carnival. Oh God, without you, ain't no Carnival. And they will make these expressions and make you feel, well, so what? I can't come to a fete. I dreaming for the day. I could have my flask in my back pocket and I could be walking in a fete and jumping up with everybody and having a time. I would love that view. But I also respect the fact that, I have been chosen to be one on the other side to make people do that. So, you have to balance it. My thing about music, I love to feel satisfied in doing what I'm doing. And I love to reach higher heights. And I've made a step this year to sing more conscious music. And to me, I see it far ahead in the distance as not even being about lyrics. I've seen it being about music and vibe and coming together where different people could understand it at the same time. Because I think in the future, we would need that sort of level of communication that will not even be about speaking. It will be visual, it will be sonic, it will be sound, and it will be,
And it won't be about national borders.
It will be judged by how it make you feel.
And is it music that could make people in Norway feel?
Yeah.
And people in Aruba feel? And
it's already happening.
It's
already happening. I've been making music for the last 2 years with people from Sweden, people from Norway. I've been into the snow-filled, mountains of Trondheim and make soca music with people who don't even know that they're making it for people back here who feeling good. So it's already happening with popular music. I think that it will happen now with music that could inspire people, mind, soul, and body. My thing is, I wish for that day that music could become mind, soul, and body. And
is your music still soca music?
I think my music has propelled beyond soca music, because soca music now is the music that drives Carnival. Soca music is the music that drives Carnival. That's the main purpose of soca. Its main existence is Carnival. And we have been pushing the envelope. When I say pushing the envelope, we bring people like Dougie Fresh, hip-hop artists. We've been pushing the envelope with hip-hop beats. People have been pushing the envelope with rock music in the soca. People have been pushing the envelope with pure dancehall in the soca. So people trying to create something new. Soca in itself is trying to become something more. I stress for the fact that in no matter what color, no matter what genre, no matter what direction it takes, I stress for improvement in quality.
Did you always think and dream and feel music?
Well, I think I always dreamt and felt creativity. I was always somebody who liked creation and being curious about the way things were created and equipment. Electronics was a thing I always sort of tampered with. The stereo at home, the cassette player, the radio. I always, went in the back and opened it up. And I think at one point in time, getting into music was, I was influenced by the television, watching Solid Gold and seeing these new drums, these electronic drums. The first time I heard about drums that were electronic, and so the idea of the technology based with the music, it was sort of there was a big part of me wanting to say, I want to find out what music is about. And I went into the records. I had no family. My father couldn't dance. My mother couldn't sing.
No Solid Gold dancers at all.
No influence from the near generations. I had to look deep within myself and say, I wonder what this will be like. And I kind of looked at the friends around me and my brother, who was also playing the guitar, and got into music. And as I say, my interest in music has always been the fascination with new things that happen, new pieces of technology, new types of music, new movements with music. And I think that followed on through. The creativity part of coming up with a song, working together with people in the studio, bringing different instruments, trying to get something achieved is really what drives me to be involved in the business that I am in, because I see it as one of the greatest forms of, putting ourselves and putting our lives at work. I think all of this is a quest for me. Musically, I realized, I used to look back in the Orisha and I look into a lot of religion and I study a lot of meditation and just things that will give me energy because this job takes a lot of energy from me. So I always remember the Baptist people when they start singing or they start drumming, they will fall onto the ground and they'll transcend musically. And I kind of made that a quest of mine in my songs. I always wanted like I would be inside of the song on stage and feel this feeling of
Catchy power.
levitation. Yeah, feeling to levitate or feeling to fly. Because it could happen with the soca music and with the levels of energy that we create with people with flags. Sometimes you actually feel the place lifting off the ground and you feel like you could fly. So I always wanted to achieve this in music and songs. I had, the song with Black Stallion, Love Fire, burning deep inside. I would remember times I would close my eyes and the room will disappear. And I would be living and swimming into the song. And I've tried to achieve this more and more in the music. So I think the change wasn't really the gimmick of whether having dancing girls on stage or having violins on stage. It's about just getting into the mood of your music.
To produce this album, which I do think signals a change of direction, we went somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
We went somewhere cold, somewhere
Far
lonely,
away.
and somewhere far away.
Yeah.
In your album, you describe it as the Hamptons house, if anybody has seen
Yeah.
that. Is it that other environment? So you didn't have people around you then saying what you're coming with.
Yeah.
There was less of that sort of local pressure.
Yeah.
Did that contribute to producing something different?
Definitely, that is part of the elements of creation. I mean, when you're creating, a lot of people create with. I mean, I've worked in studio situations where some guys you come in, everybody drinking, everybody laughing. I work in situations where you come into a studio and some people have candles lit, some people don't talk. Different people inspire differently. I am inspired by focus, because once I set out and I know what I have to do, the next thing I need to do is hold that focus for a period of time so that I myself not believe what I'm doing, but become what I'm doing. Usually I took Ecstatic and the band and my guys up to Toko, to the country. I usually take people away from the natural element where everybody could pull at it because I want them to focus on this one thing that we're going to do. And I saw it as trying to make a change in my music now to be conscious. But at the same time, I knew it wasn't going to happen in 1 year. So I almost had to make half of a conscious song and half of a song that people could still dance to. And to do that, you have to sell the both sides. It's not just saying, okay, I go in and sing Wine and Jam and I go in the fete. Or it's not just I go in and sing conscious lyrics and I go in the tent. No, you're in the fete and you're trying to sing tent lyrics. You're trying to sing something conscious that people stand up and listen to.
So was this the most challenging year then, trying to get, each song to be able to span two spheres?
Well, I don't know if to say whether this could be the most challenging because I don't know what lies ahead. This
So
is
far.
it's the beginning. It's the beginning, and I think it was a challenge, but it was proven to be successful. Successfully executed by the band. We stayed out there in the Hamptons. We sat down, we discussed the songs, we liked them together. One of the important elements of carrying everybody out there, I think, we try to bring back the process of recording. We try to bring it back to musicians standing in a room, playing the song, knowing the song before you actually program it or go into a computer and counting it down. So we always did that sort of bandstand, the way the Calypsonians would have recorded their songs back in the day in 1930. The singer will stand up by the mic and the bandman conductor will be there and say, go. And you have to sing it down and you have to take it down. If anybody make a mistake, you have to go back from the top.
What's the advantage to you of doing it like that?
Well, I think the advantage for us was just getting back the tradition of the togetherness of the playing, the togetherness of playing, sort of bringing musicianship back into creating music. Because there's something special when 5 musicians come together and they play in a piece of music.
Jam.
Okay, you say this is what you're supposed to play, but you could stray a little way away from that into your own, your own world, but in this world. So I would like us to balance the peaks and valleys and find that song that has the energy, but at the same time you could break it down and sing it with a guitar, which is what I've been fooling around with, playing my guitar, singing this song on this level. But don't let it fool you. I might sit down here and say, keep moving, keep walking, and then I might get up and say, keep moving, keep the same lyrics, same song, just in a different version. I started learning the guitar as a necessity of wanting to write songs. And in terms of melody, I've always wanted to improve on my melodies. I always wanted to improve on my lyrical content. And I decided that, I need an instrument that is connected to the body. Because as I grew in music, I started to see my music as being related to my body, to the movement, to how I feel, to my energy levels. I've been trying to, dive into African creations, East Indian creations, and they all come back to a sort of rhythmic essence as the source. So I started learning the guitar and stroking the guitar and realizing that it's almost like you're stroking your own soul or your own heart, and started to create songs that come from that source as opposed to getting a beat and just listening to a beat and writing a song to the beat or writing a rhyme to a drum. You want to actually try to put chords together. It's a whole different way of creating music.
God, it's like a different language. What you listen to then is the heartbeat and the pulse.
Definitely. Every night I go out there, I have to kind of prepare myself to do better. It's an ongoing thing. It's almost like if you're looking back from when when you started in your music career, to making sure that you keep taking it up a notch, keep bringing that energy level to people higher and higher every single night.
I know there are times where you may not be at your greatest energy. You're tired, especially on a carnival run. You might have a few gigs a night. But is it that you legitimately, every time you get back on that stage, no matter how you are feeling off stage, you get a kick from it? You get a vibe?
So sometimes I think you have to look beyond that, and these are sort of the thresholds that athletes kind of mess with when they run in and they run out, and they have to draw for it in a deeper spot, which is why I say the music to me over the years, it has become something so personal in terms of with the body, the mind, and the soul, that you might go out there and you might be physically tired, but that music is an energy and you could just sit on and let it ride you through the wave like a surfboard. You could ride on it if you really in touch with how to be part of that whole act, how to be part of the crowd, how to keep them involved, how to keep the music coming, how to keep the bands jumping, how to keep the acts flowing. I mean, I think once you get that down, from that point on, it's just the energy you're floating on. And these are the kind of things you want to dive when you dive deeper and deeper into music and wanting to make it art. Some people love music for fun, go to clubs and parties. Some people want to make music art. And I have more, lean to the art side. I would like to be able to sit back now and contribute, a greater contribution in terms of maybe every 2 years, every 3 years, bring out something that would last or create the impression that will cut the way for new things to happen. I will always like to inspire the youth. So this year we did violins. We didn't do boom boom, we do violins. But we try to incorporate the new music. I would like the time and the freedom to dive into that and sort of create more with those kind of people, because it helps me to understand something new, and therefore I'm inspired to go on. So to me, that is what I'm really looking for, what I would really want.
Why
for
can't
myself.
you seize that? I mean, what's to stop you? Why can't you wait out next year? Take 2 years.
Well, you see, part of the business is you come into this business and you become an icon. When you come into a business and you become an icon, you become part of people. That family you're talking about, who's your family, they now need you. It's like before we had ketchup, we didn't know what ketchup was, but now we need ketchup. If there's a shortage of tomatoes, bet yourself we're going to know that we need tomatoes.
And you have a responsibility to
So
find
you have
them.
a responsibility. So it's part balance. You have to balance yourself with how you go out there and supply your fans with enough product or enough things that they will be able to still have you in their sights, as much as to get that freedom to relax. So now all you have to do is start taking small steps and wholly focus of getting it musically. I would like to express an album. To me, an album is an expression of your life, at what point you are in that journey, where your understanding is, how you feel about things that are happening in the world. And to put out an album, you really want to sit down, contain your meditation about the whole world, how you feel internally, and how you could produce this to make people celebrate those two things simultaneously. What's going on in the world, what's going on in your mind as an artist, and here it is as a product that I could share and I could agree with you, or I could relate to your stories, I could relate to your music. So to me, this is always the sense of what I'm trying to achieve, making that statement and making that expression that this is where I have reached.
I saw something recently where Harry Belafonte was being interviewed about Calypso. And he admitted that there was a lot of resentment by the people who were here, really doing Calypso, that he came supposedly out of nowhere and he get the credit for it
Yeah.
internationally. Do you see where you are going as somewhere that